the prophylactic measures I took, recycling both the computer and my modem, will get us working here. It takes so long for that camera to start. I know a lot of people that use OBS to stream and stuff happens quickly. I don't know. Well, I do have a lot of Opera browsers open. If I'm being honest, and you know I hate to do that. If I'm being honest. Is it gonna do? Is it gonna do? It is gonna do. There's some more gibberish. It still remembers the gibberish from before. Hello, I'm Keith. This is Thoughtstorms Livestream. For no apparent reason, I'm going to light a barbecue thing to show you that I've got a fan on, and I hope you can still hear me because it's Texas and I don't know the temperature, but it's warm. It's not summer hot, not Texas summer hot. Oh, it's New England summer hot. Trust me on this. Ooh, I shouldn't do that. One thing, the table's very hollow. It's an interior door. Wouldn't matter if it was exterior from my apartment. So yeah, it's very hollow and drum-like, and I don't want people's ears to go kerthump. Interesting. Okay. So I was already talking about some of the weirdness we get to. Look, I'm in color. There's even color inside my mouth. Hello everybody. Which camera are you? Huh. I guess I might as well have that, but that can be off in the corner. Oh, see, I can't bump my own head. La la la, you still hear me? That's the camera in question. I might move it just a tiny bit. Working, you know, one thing, working on the branding just a little bit. I find if I'm looking at a bunch of thumbnails, even if they're large, it's hard to figure out who's who. Now, I don't look like somebody who's doing Fortnite or Minesweeper. Minecraft. Actually, I'm probably the only guy that does something similar to Minesweeper. Minesweeper! There we go. Boy, that Minesweep, she can act. Oh, look, behind me. There's a photograph of my late and excellent grandfather. And one of his hats in a color I don't care for at all. I don't like to look at it even. I certainly don't want to wear it. And I don't think it's, that's queer. I had a pink shirt that I liked a lot, but it was not that kind of pink. So, I am blathering because it's what I do. Alright, where was I? Stream's looking solid. Reasonably solid. And while that was cycling, can you see the mess of this? That is basically not just wet clay, that is mainly what they call slip, which is just clay and water. Not, it's still basically so wet it's liquid, but that piece up inside, or up on the side a little bit, that might be workable. I hope it is, because I want to try some more marbling water-based it's time for buying the camera. Water-based clay with the 2-part epoxy clay, so that I can dissolve it as I did with some of these that I showed you already. You may have tuned in for a different VOD, since I had to restart because there was apparently internet trouble. That's light's too bright. Light. And good lord, the light behind there, that shouldn't be light at all. That's that mirrorized, what do you call it? It's like the inside of a the bag inside of a cereal box, plastic. I just don't know what to call that. Mylar. Mirrored Mylar, but it's only one layer, and they are pretty translucent. They let in some serious light. So I'm going to go see if I can tweak this camera just a little bit, so that if I show you something with it. Alright, that's how I know it's that camera. I will go to the properties, configure video. This will not be of interest, even if you are a streamer yourself. But hey, one thing, the brightness can come right down. Apply. What'd that do? I don't see an effect. How about the contrast up? Apply. Again, I don't see anything. Saturation all the way down. Apply. Yep, I'm not seeing this take effect at all. So that's not great. I can't seem to work on that. Oh, I don't really want to change the hue. Hello? Don't want to change the hue. Oh, yep. Can't do anything about the brightness. I'm just that bright is all. Okay, well, let's not worry about that at the moment then. Holy heck, my cotton mouth is back. Side effect of my legal meds, and I used to have some legal meds that helped fight the cotton mouth. I used to. Look over here. It's also pretty grainy. I mean, that wasn't an inexpensive camera. In fact, I got it crazy cheap. It was probably a $10 camera, brand spanking new. All right. I think I once heard what the origin of spanking, brand spanking new. Oh, okay, this is actually for another thing that I'm not getting to right away. Oh, that sucked to step in. Let's put it over here. And hope it doesn't. It's gonna. Damn it. Hi, everybody. I'm the MacGyver of never bringing materials and tools. Wait, no, MacGyver is the MacGyver of that. Yeah, that backlight's just worthless. Makes this shot worthless. I can tilt you way down. Well down. You can see what I'm working on. This cam, there we go. There you are. I don't know where you are, but I'll miss you so much. Till then, I met someone who looks a lot like you. She does the things you do, but she is an IBM. Oh no. Do 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 do. She is the latest in technology, almost mythology, but she has a heart of stone. She has an IQ of 1001. She has a jumpsuit on, and she's also a telephone. Okay, there's that. I guess I could do this. There we go. That might be of use. Okay. So, I've been working on these large kernels of popcorn. Once again, if you joined after the reset, here are some examples. A chance to see the scale of them. Some of them aren't so huge. Some of them are just about twice the usual size. And that one only has one protuberance. Needs more. So, right now these are just white. They're matte white. They are very lightweight. You can maybe hear this foam clay is basically like I have an example of it here. I don't. It's basically like the foam puzzle piece mats that people put down so their legs don't tire out and they're in their weight training rooms or what have you. I can never think what they call that kind of foam, but that's what this basically turns into. And if you coat it in something, a lot of people do Flex Seal, I think. It will stay flexible and stay sealed, I guess. But it's no longer white. It's no longer matte. This has got almost all the qualities that I want and like. So, yesternight, which isn't even one of my made-up words, I got to working with some of the already dried stuff. Okay. It's too bright, but I can do something about that one. There we go. How about that? Is that a little better? Not a lot better. But if it had some color down the... Oh, there's a little tiny bit. And some test pieces. I didn't really love the shape of this. Oh, Lord. There's some orange that's too red for the purpose. Oh, this is hard to turn when you're looking at the camera and not the item. We didn't evolve to do such things, but I want to see it close up too. Kill. Come here. Come here, you. This camera's not going to focus. Neither. You can sort of see a little bit there. There's a shadow on it. That's okay. I deliberately made that kind of irregular dots close together because real popcorn kernels have bits of the outer shell that remain stuck to the pithy white stuff. Not sure if I mean pithy. think that's a proper use of Piffy. This is almost it. I mean, well, damn it. What about you? And that's too bright. La la la. No. Well, shoot. Because I've got some reasonably good results. Let's see. No, not gonna focus. Ah, come on, I can't. Shoot. Well, I have these tulip fine tip permanent fabric markers, and a couple of them are very useful. One of them is optic yellow. You probably will be able to see this with some shade. Come on. Well, let's see. Oh, look at this. I can do this. Oh, that's not pleasant at all. Can you see? Wow, you can't see it glow. How about, yeah, still too much. Anyway, it glows in a black light. Totally flashed myself. With white light. White light making things with light. Out of sight making things with light bright. So I worked on a few things. Made another weird tetrahedron. This time I had a little... I painted a little bit of the purple fabric pen. Here's a little Pac-Man pellet in the optic yellow. Glows nicely in the black light. Oh, so thirsty all of the time. And I'm not going to chew gum, because I watch these VODs, and watching me chew gum, I don't care for it. Chewing gum I care for, but watching myself do it? No, thank you. No, I don't like it. No, please. So, now I'm showing all that. Oh, well, that's just a show and tell of something I did last night. There's one color that looks quite a bit like the part that makes movie popcorn or microwave popcorn really get in your teeth. There we go. Yes, I'm tweaking my OBS on stream. That's probably a no-no in some book. Another thought I have, and I don't know where they are, but they sell these clusters of water balloons, and when you get them, they're about the size of that last knuckle of my pinky before you blow them up, and they've got a long, narrow balloon that goes up into a cluster of ones just like it. So it's almost like a cluster of grapes. The idea of this thing is you screw it into your water hose or your faucet, and you can make, I think, 50 water balloons at once, and you can blow them up as high as you want, and they only end up being about the size of a baseball, I would say. It'd be a racquetball. Blah blah. keep looking at that camera. It doesn't do a lot of good to do so. That one's still working.
Hello? Oh Lord, I am afflicted with a bald patch.
No hitting balls. If I can find the right color, like that slightly golden yellow, slightly yellow orange, yeah, right in that zone. Anyway, if I could find something that had that color to begin with, or if I could coat the inside of it with the same ink that works pretty well on that, and then add this Model Magic. Now, I have tried the Model Magic in a microwave. It doesn't foam up and get big like like the marshmallow fluff, marshmallow cream, I think is what I grew up calling it, the fluffer nutter. Marshmallows really puff up. Boy, see, what I need is to be able to make this clay do the marshmallow thing and stay big and set up. Even if I had to do it in a low pressure chamber. I don't have a low pressure chamber, but I would get one. Because the idea is you put some of this clay into those water balloons. Which might prove challenging, but I'd be only working with one at a time, so I could probably roll it down there. Oh, I just saw the example. These kind of mats, although this is a two-sided kind that's a little different, but anyway. I knew that was around here somewhere. Beverage. So if I can get that to swell up inside of one of those balloons, maybe I even degrade the balloon. Maybe I leave it out in the sun or do something to make it so that it's going to be more fragile. Although I don't mind at all the idea of popping a really large popcorn kernel, especially if I can get it to look like a popcorn kernel when it's done, or even part of, the main part of a popcorn. This is the last day I was in the hospital. The last time I was a patient, I had accidentally gone off my Xanax, and so I was almost manic. I was in a great mood, big cool ideas. Granted, one of the biggest and coolest was making large-scale models of popcorn kernels. I'm looking at my face in the wrong monitor. If I look at least this one, I'm at least close to the camera. So yeah, I had a bunch of big ideas. Oh yeah, I accidentally had been out of Xanax for 2 weeks, and although I was a little super talkative, and I wasn't right in the head, but it was a much better not right in the head. Neurospicy. Where did I hear neurospicy? Moco Made. Twitch channel called Moco Made. I can't recommend it high enough. They're awesome. They're the best. Brother and sister act, and daughter/niece sometimes shows up now that she's had a baby that's about to turn 1. Anyway, Neurospicy. That's where I was. Look. See? Isn't it cool? It needs to... Ooh, that's not plugged in. There we go. That's a little better. The thing about those magnet chargers is sometimes they get loose. What's up with this? I mean, I know that my hair's dark there, but I don't know. Looked like I spilled ice cream there or something, but I didn't. La la, squirrel! Yes, I'm neurospicy. I'm looking at the wrong camera. Yes, I'm neurospicy. Attention deficit out the yin yang. They didn't diagnose me till I was in my 30s, and that was because, I think mainly because I wasn't truly hyper. They say that anybody ADD, even if they don't think they're hyper, there's something they do. I run my tongue around my mouth fast and constantly, which you can't really see. It's just subtle. Or tap my toe inside my shoe, my big toe maybe. Anyway, but I'm also very distractible. I talk to myself almost constantly. That's one of the reasons to become a streamer, is it legitimizes what I would be doing. Anyway, I live my life like it's a damn cooking show. Okay, I'm going to move my glasses over here so that I can put these pens right there. And here's one we baked earlier. Weird mask art in progress. Trigger warning. If that's a trigger for you, look away. This two-part epoxy stuff, when it starts setting up, you got to do something with it, or just have some rocks of that color. And so I make more meat-eelies and add them to that, and I'll eventually paint the crap out of that. Because it's a little bit crap now. Dang it. Let's see. That's the right side. Jam Spelly. You were not hyper. Right. The very smallest. Squirrel! Absolutely. Good to see from you there, Peter. You're right, it's not a stream day. I felt like doing some stuff, so I went ahead and turned on the crap, and look at that. I've got a chatter. Everybody, this is Spam Jelly on Twitch. Peter on YouTube. And he my brother. And he need to quit going in the damn hospital himself. Let me think here. Okay, so I was talking about an idea. They take the little bitty balloons about the size of that. That wasn't clear what I was showing. Those small, or if I can get smaller balloons, it'd be even better. And then make this white foam clay that I'm making the, what does Nightbot say? I can't read it. And that's not the best thing. Why can't I read it? Oh, please. Why does my computer only lock up when I ask it to do something? Because my brain does the same. Neurospicy. It's a new term you'll hear me throwing around because I like it a lot. My idea is to do something to make this soft, air dry, matte finish, white, very lightweight. One of the cool things about these things is I could have a column of air blowing, and it could just turn around on it, float on it like a ping pong ball because it's so light. So I like everything about it, but I want to make it look like the elbow skin part of popped popcorn. Boy, and you can see an attempt there. I don't know when you came in. You may have seen that already. Another attempt. I want to make that, and I would love it if I could find a process to thanks Nightbot for distracting me, a process for basically popping huge kernels of popcorn. And another idea is if somebody pledges on Patreon, if they go at a high level, they get one of these big ones, and or whatever the size they want. Lowest levels might get ones about this size or a tiny bit smaller. But I want that kernel, that broken up kernel that makes it so. Damn it. I am neuro stutter and stuttering. Stuttering. I see what you're typing. Auto. Dang it. I can't see the bottom of the chat like I ought. Yeah, autofill. Neuro stuttering. Yes, bit of that. He's a really good comedian with a stutter. And I just recently watched a video of his. He does a lot of crowd work, like the guy you like even slightly more than I do. I like that other guy too. Anyway, this video was his stutter and her hard of hearing. She was using her phone just to have closed captions, so he thought she was disinterested. It was a pretty good combinación. Okay. Squirrel accomplished. Is there still a camera over there? Yeah. That's not in the way. Okay, good. Yeah, I want to make large what do you call it? But that's just talking about things. I have this thrift store purchase, pentagonal dodecahedron. You know me, I have a theory. This is my stuff. I've wrapped some foil on it. Just wrapped. I didn't stick it down with anything because I want to do some more of the negative space marble idea in such a way that I can do a lot of them and then assemble it as a pentagonal dodecahedron with negative space. You can see through it. That's the idea. And to work on these kinds of clay, I need to screw with gloves that won't let me work touch screens. And touch screens are, well, I think I can see chat without resorting to my phone screen because it's being projected on the wall over. I can barely see it. Oh, Lord, this place. Well, I can't even tell what you can see there. Wayne's World, excellent. Okay, that was not intended, but always fun. My brother and I, well, both of my brothers and I have all three worked a great deal at TV stations. Still can't turn this. There we go. Let's get this more better. So we've done that Wayne's World for decades, since the previous century. So, oh yeah. Now, the way I'm getting this negative space marble effect is I'm wadding up 2-part epoxy sculpt with water-based ceramic clay that I can soak and hopefully power wash out. When it's this thick, that's what he would never have said. When it's that thick, it's not so hard to get out. Then again, if you have too much of the soluble stuff, the thing kind of just dissolves. And that's not the desired output. Here's some of that. This is just the epoxy sculpt, and I will, this will be noisy. Ear warning. So, I'm gonna get the water clay out. Oh, let's see if I can condition it to the right consistency. Okay, I need the ability to put you down somewhere. Okay, this is gonna be a bit messy, but I've got gloves on. Ooh, no glove, no glove. Mother scratching. And yes, this does get everywhere. Why? Who have you been talking to? Ooh, this is actually pretty good. This is almost wet enough to pull the process you do in ceramics that when you make the handle on like a pitcher or smaller on a teacup or something, it's almost wet enough for that. So, alright, good. Also need a way to put you down to not get everything filthy. That's a bad call. And there's never one of these around when you want them, except there. So that's ready. Now I need to make the two-part stuff. I am going to get just a tiny bit of Spam Jelly. Did you are you the one that gave me this brand? You like the smell of it? I think so. It's a pretty good smell. Man, I tell you what, the only thing this hasn't easily taken out of off my hands is when I get CA glue, super glue on the hands. So I'm gonna get some of that white clay out. Just enough to sort of, oh, I'm not probably in any of the three cameras. Can I get it in all three? No, I don't think I can. La la. Anyway, now I won't get the black Abe's Fix-It two-part epoxy putty. This is the B, and for some reason it's got a real brown cast to it. These pots have been unopened for a long time, and yet the outside of that, I guess, reacted to the air and turned brown. The inside of it's surprisingly light gray. My supposition is that all this two-part epoxy is two-part epoxy. The B part is mixed with a white powder, possibly cornstarch, possibly talcum powder, something like that. Some of the things that we used to mix to make ceramic clays, powders, and then they can add something to the black kind. Anyway, so I had a a spoon. Oh, that's not the right one. I don't really want to mess that one up. I have another here somewhere, actually. Alright, if I relax, maybe it will turn up. I've got a titanium bread knife. There you go. Hiding under the mess. What do I need a maid? Okay, there we go. And it's made out of titanium, and so it's pretty damned easy to work with this stuff when it's stiff. I'm making only using the black for now because the white is runny like honey. I didn't just say that because it rhymed. It's you can seriously pour one of the two parts out of the pot, and that is undesirable in the extreme. I need more than this. It's falling off of my gloves. I should have. I'm gonna real quick wash my hands. Be right back. Actually, that's actually a pretty good show. I forget what they kind of call the network, the Quote Fingers network that actually is on. It was, I think, it was related to College Humor at some point. What's happened to my spray bottle? I don't know what this looks like. Hi. Oh, you can actually see it a little bit. Alrighty. My quick rinse was not sufficient. And it's really kind of messing up the epoxy sculpt prematurely. La 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 la. Okay, what was I doing? I was getting part B. Ooh, it's not as much as I thought I was getting. It's not. It's not as happy as it would like to be. Keeping them for literally years without even opening them, not the best play, but honestly, I mean, I'm not using the white because it's runny, and that might have been because I left it for years. I don't know, this stuff is a little on the thick side. I am told that you can thin it or smooth it with isopropyl alcohol, and I have found that to be the case, but I also would like this to stay reasonably thick. That's why I'm not working with the white. I want to try, okay, in addition to marbling black firm clay that doesn't dissolve in water with water soluble and having marbled negative space, emptiness, there is also something you can buy on Temu. It is UV Union Victor UV ultraviolet putty that is clear, just like this hand sanitizer. So you can shape it and then point a UV light like I have over there, but I don't want to mess it up with my messed up dirty hands. I'm going to get just a little bit of alcohol on this. If I locate the alcohol bottle, there it is. Just the tiniest. I haven't even taken the membrane off the top of this alcohol. I just kind of made a hole in it, so I just do a shake. That's enough. I've just got a little on my finger, on my glove. They say you don't have to use your gloves for this epoxy sculpt, and the previous kind, the A's epoxy sculpt, I didn't use gloves, but I'm getting old and I'm very hypersensitive to a lot of things, and I don't want to find that I can't work with this stuff anymore. And I think I need more alcohol. Yeah. That's possibly what she said. She is a lush after all. La 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 la. Alright. Soften this up just enough. I think the other pot is reasonably good texture already. And I'm going to clean my I'll clean my knife with some of this hand sanitizer so that it doesn't hold on the cord of that camera. You see all the cords in here? I need help. I desperately need help. There are so many cords, it's just like unacceptable. Oh. Squirrel. A tiny bit of that. And some sort of, oh, bite my balls. This has got that blue shit in it, on it, with it, near it. Hold the phone, please. I'm going to wash this at the sink because that blue stuff should come off and I don't want it mixing into the mix. So, talk amongst yourself. Or watch other streams on your other computers. Oh, you need hold music. La 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 talking with the water running in the other room, so I doubt you were hearing me. Doesn't matter. None of it was important. I promise. I worked extra hard to make it unimportant. Oof. Alrighty. So that's part B of the black, and now I need some part A of the black. I need that to quit pissing me off, but it never will, so that's a vain hope. And I will fall into insincere Monty Python freak accent at the drop of a proverbial or actual hat. And I will continue looking over here to the camera that can't see my face, so that you can see my left ear rather well. Alright, here we go. Yeah, this stuff is not as dried up and unhappy. It's a shade stiffer than I prefer. I am being careful with this titanium knife. I'm confident that this white plastic, what do you call? Fake plastic watering can. Fake plastic trees, it wears you out. It wears you out. Come on, Mr. Thing, I need a little more. Work with me, please. Alright, that's enough. And get you closed. Now these won't dry in the air per se. They'll dry a little bit, and I have heard that if they do dry in the air, a little bit of water will help a little bit. But it's not until you put the two parts together, just like 5-minute epoxy. If you don't mix the two, they never set up. They never set. Set's one word. Cure is the most precise of the words. Everybody says dry, and it ain't about dry. Alright, so now I'm going to mix the A and B together, because the A and B should always be together. And this, you don't want to be artistic at all, you want it thoroughly to mix. Okay. I thought I had gotten the blue off my hands, and I had. It's just this black is a little generous at this stage. The YouTubers that recommend gloves with this two-part epoxy sculpt, most of them say once you've got it mixed and it's still malleable, but it's starting to kick, that's another word for what happens. Okay, this is taking too long. There's a technique I'm going to show on this camera. Instead of fold and roll and fold and roll, you do some pretty aggressive turning. It helps the process happen a little faster. And it's good that it's different colors, because you can see still a little zebra-y. Looks like there's more of the part A than there is B, but B may just be hiding in the middle. Here, I went live at 2:40, but apparently my internet was kind of screwed, so I got off and cycled my router and rebooted my computer. Ooh. Come on. Oh, this is, I tell you what, this is, I have not done any kind of exercise to speak of, and this is wearing me out. If I had more table room, I could roll on the table, and I think that would make it easier, but do the twist thing again, the twitch twist. Do the twitch, everybody, do the twitch. Let me know if you get an ad watching my stream, Peter or anyone else. I don't think you will. I think I have to be a partner first, and I don't think I will ever, or really can ever, be a Twitch partner, because I simultaneously covet my neighbor's deity, golden calf. I broadcast on YouTube, and I keep talking to that camera. Hi, need some eye contact. Hi. Alright. This turd is getting pretty nicely monotone. And it's an incredibly dark gray. It's not black quite. Here's an example of it without other stuff mixed into it. And here is black fix-it, white fix-it, and white, and a pretty small amount of the white water-soluble clay. And I love how that turned out. I've actually already taken pictures of all four sides, and one of them I've already turned into some digital artwork. I've used that as kind of a seed to build some fractals and programmed effects. So I feel pretty good about my two-part epoxy. It's still kind of nice and loose. And what I'm going to do, what's I going to do? I'm going to kind of wait till the last minute to put in the water soluble and put it in smaller amount, so it just makes crevices. Maybe not all the way through, although I love how you can see all the way through on one of those that I've shown a couple of times. So, got some water soluble next to the non-soluble. I also plan to try silly putty, honestly. Peter knows that there's some funny family, what is it, trivia? Family stories about how frugal we are and how we seem to really like our silly putty and comic books and paper dolls. I'm on the paper doll crew. I thought about that. Hale, Texas, my gym teacher would allow some of us to not suit up and not play whatever game. Thank Christ. Because it was usually something brutal like dodgeball. I feel like I got more of the white than I want. I'm going to get just a little more black. I hadn't planned on mixing it this thoroughly. Forgive me. See, there's some cool intermixing that happens there, especially when you realize that the white stuff hopefully will dissolve. My friend Philip let me on Saturday put it in his Sonic cleaner in kind of Ziploc bags. Okay, that's a little better. Zebra Dalmatian weirdness, panda, white tiger. What else is black and white? And red all over. The New York Times. I don't know if it was the New York Times that had that clever marketing. What's black and white and red all over? READ. So, I've got this stuff. And I think what I'm going to do is focus on the vertices, the edges of the pentagons. And I'm just going to do really the top one, maybe come down a little bit on each one of these, so that later I can do the same thing after I've tested this idea. This may not be a keeper, but it's just on foil. It's only foil. Pardon me. Oh, dude. See, I like that. That is not bad at all. I may have stumbled on something kind of good here. The backside of it is mainly just black. And the black is going to be best for structure. The white part is going to be the best for looks, for negative space. So I'm going to do like this here. Can you see what I'm doing? You probably cannot. Maybe now? How about now? That's a little better. So I'm kind of packing it onto these vertices. Am I saying the wrong thing? There's a word for the corners, and there's a word for the side, and there's a word for the face. The face, I think, is just a face. I'm talking about it in geometry. I haven't really had a geometry class per se, but I've read a lot of books and I've watched a lot of videos and things. So I've got a zebra turd following that edge in kind of an S pattern. I'm going to make another one over here. Oops. Over. I think that's got too much white. Let's do, yeah, let's talk to ourselves and say let's the whole time. I'm not kidding. If I wasn't online, I would still be saying all of this. I would be talking myself through it. That's one of my neurospicy things. I'm capable of shutting up, but if there's people around who are willing to listen, myself included, I'm going to be talking. And if I run out of things to say, what do I famously do? I start counting. Yeah. I've said it before. It's self-deprecating humor, and I'm sorry. Actually, I think self-depreciating might be the more correct term, but if there's anybody in the world who's earned the right to depreciate me, it's me. Doesn't mean I don't care for myself, doesn't mean I don't want to take care of myself, I do. Mainly because of the people that care about me. I want to screw up their lives with my untimely demise. Untimely-ish. Can't remember how old I was when I died. For 75 seconds. Is that 2011? I think maybe it was. I think maybe it was. Can we see what's happening? I'm making a crown of thorns for this pentagonal dodecahedron. And once again, one of the reasons that I got so into the dodecahedron, beyond just liking odd numbered regular polygons. This is a polyhedron made of regular shaped polygons, and in ancient times there was a what do you call? A big taboo about painting, drawing, sculpting, sketching, laying a turd in the shape of. You weren't supposed to. It was a bit like the Prophet Muhammad. You're just not really supposed to depict it. It was a taboo, and I love the idea of breaking an ancient taboo that nobody's given a shit about for thousands of years. No, not thousands. I don't know, my brain's not working that well to answer my own question there. I think this has got some promise to it. Because I can later put some stuff across there, and I've got just about enough for this last bit and some descenders. About that right there. Ooh, there's no white to be seen on this one. There it is. Not much, but it'll do. It'll do. It will do. I got to admit that it will do. Well, I finally saw Inside Out 2. I'd seen Inside Out 1 3 times. Once in the theater with my buddy John. He buys, I flies. Once with Natalie Gold. Reactor content creator on YouTube that is good as her last name. stage name. She's good as gold is the point. That's really kind of too small for this. So let's picking that back up. Picking that back up. Whoa, picking it up now. I watched it again with audio description. Does anybody out there watch movies or TV shows with the audio description? I find it's like I have superpowers because the filmmakers, if the audio description tells you about a baseball bat on a table and then talks about other things, that baseball bat's coming back. They took the time to put it into the audio description. Likewise, if that baseball bat's going to happen, they are going to foreshadow it in the description. A lot of people can't stand it. It really bugs them. I don't like it in a comedy. It can get very distracting in a comedy. Anyway, so I'd watched Inside Out 1 3 times, and then the 4th time with Babs, which is the nickname we call our lovely mother, aka Barbara. Watched with her, and she seemed to really, really like it. And then when I suggested, hey, let's do part 2, or yeah, the second movie, she's like, but she'll do that. She'll give you every indication that she really liked something, and then maybe not stick with that opinion, which is fine. Okay, I don't really have. Yeah, I do. I think I will do this. This pentagon here, go around it also, and then probably call it a day, at least on this project. I'm gonna flatten this black stuff. This is getting a little thicker, a little harder to work with, or yeah, a little less pliable. And I'm gonna rather thicken or smash down the water soluble stuff, kind of stretch it and thin it out, and then get a good peppermint patty twist. This peppermint. Anybody here grow up with the children's show in Dallas? I don't remember which channel. It was either 36 or 11. Mr. Peppermint. There was a puppet with a stuffed up nose sound. I liked him the best. He was pretty good. Mr. Peppermint was just basically, I think he was the weatherman, but maybe not. Or maybe the former weatherman. See, cause I got some panda turds. Yummy. Alright, I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna put it back together, and then I'm gonna do the twist. And I'm gonna go both directions because I want this to look. Ideally, I want this to not look man-made at all. I'd like this to look like, oh wow, geologists will be working on this for 400 years now. We've never seen anything like it. Cool. Speaking of a wow and cool, how cool was the SpaceX first, well, I don't remember what stage it was, rocket coming down, landing near a tower, and the tower and saying, oh yeah, I'll take that. Chunk. First fucking try. Result. Loved that. And I tuned in perfectly. I just was looking for something to watch on YouTube. I saw a live thing for space launch, and usually when I tune in, it's not a very interesting part of the launch. I was maybe 20 seconds before the thank you. Just, boop, just, I've been saying for a few years now, whenever people say, yeah, I don't think technology can ever undo the bad stuff it's done. I hear what you're saying. I'm going to put some more black with the... Oh, man, I wish I could get a good high resolution of that. Because I make similar textures to that in digital artwork, and it would be really nice. And it has already been nice to work with some visual textures from the real world in my digital art. That was so sweet. And then the other thing landed, kinda. It curtsied on the water, fell over, and was more than 10 feet under in like less than 3 seconds, I would hazard a guess. But still, I'm not happy with the guy that started the company. I was a fanboy, big time, and I have close friends and at least one family member who's still quite enamored of the fellow. I don't like what's happened to Twitter, even though I never liked Twitter worth a shit. I never really used it. I think I had it set up to where when I made a Facebook post, it would automatically also post on Twitter. Yeah, so I'm not that happy with that individual. However, and I'm not that happy with... I'm still fairly happy with Tesla electric cars. I think they do a lot more good than they do harm. I think they've made some bad decisions, and I think I have a clue who in the company is making those. Sorry, y'all, if y'all are still fanboys, I don't mean to hurt you, but anyway, Starlink is still pretty badass. And yeah, their space program, SpaceX, dude. Bezos, Branson. I would love for Bezos and Branson to come up with something great. That would be wonderful. I would not be angry about that. This is hard to work on, but I think, yeah, here we go. Yeah, I would like for them to have some success, but so far they're just getting their asses kicked. I don't love calling it like it's a sports ball match. Maybe a crumb of two-part epoxy. But when I move out of this apartment, they're going to tear this carpet out and probably call it bad names while they're doing so. Because it's nasty, and it was nasty when I moved in. Nowhere near as nasty. Alright, I have a little bit more panda poop. I need my glasses. I want my glasses. This is not a good profile. Oh dear. I need to have this. And now it won't work. Now the mouse won't work. Okay. The escape button did. Yeah, I need to quit working where the computer is and work where I would work computer be damned, and yet have the piano, the computer close enough to live stream and record YouTube videos. I released a few YouTube videos this morning. I think 2. One I'd made quite a while back, and one of them was more recent. Maurice, and they are kind of slideshows. I'm gonna get a little bit of that stuff. Alcohol. There it is. Yeah. Because this black stuff is setting up, and I don't think alcohol will hurt the clay. When I was softening the clay, in most of the batches I included some dish soap, just a couple of drops of dish soap in the water, because ultimately I'm going to want this stuff to come away. Not saying come from away, which is a musical that you gotta get your hands on. Apple Plus. Oh, that's a feature I've been wanting to add, is recommendations, television and otherwise. I'm a little tired of the shop talk of these materials, so I'm going to change subject to some recommendations. Now, for one thing, I've got only one close family member. I've got a sister and I've got a niece, maybe 2 nieces. I don't know if Amber fornicates with what do you call podcasts, but I know the other niece does, and I believe Crystal, my sister, our sister, does a little, but she's not into the same stuff. I'm into the comedy. If you love comedy, and trust me, if you follow these recommendations, I think you're going to find that you love comedy. First of all, there's a guy you probably heard of. He used to be on Real Time with Bill Maher, back when Bill Maher was still, I don't know. I still watch Bill. I find I agree with about 90% of them now. Used to be a lot higher percentage. He's real ugly about fat people, and guess what? I ain't skinny. And he's not necessarily wrong, but like a difficult close relation I could mention, it doesn't matter that you're not wrong. You could still be a little bit tactful. Anyway. Oh, Paul F. Tompkins. I don't know if I said his name before. Paul F. Tompkins. He has guest starred in everything, especially every comedy podcast that's ever existed, I think. If you can get Paul F. Tompkins on your podcast, you're made. Because people like me search for his name in the podcast stuff, and it's like, okay, I'm going to listen to that, and if I like the concept, I'll come back. Sometimes I'll only come back when you have him back on. But anyway, Paul F. Tompkins. And he had, I'd say one of the earlier comedy podcasts out there. His first, I'm pretty sure, and it was called, I think rather humorously, the Pod F. Tomcast. You see what I'm getting when I twist One thing, the water solubles being a little grainy, although that gives me some of that cool figure, so maybe I won't add any water. The Pod F Tomcast, and that was him alone in a room. His friend Evan Schletter, EvanSchetter, Evan Schletter. I think that's the song. I haven't heard this in a long time. So he's basically improvising by himself with really nobody's calling out a surgeon and his nurse. Nobody's calling out anything. He's basically just top of his dome while Evan plays something on the piano that kind of goes along with it. It starts to get exciting. He'll da-da-dum, da-da-dum. Oh, Lord. Need more black. Need more black. It's good stuff. And if you ever hear me say it's nighttime on the internet, it's from that. Every week they would say something like this. And it was a sultry female voice. It's nighttime on the internet. A raccoon files his taxes. Or an anteater checks his Instagram. May have been before the days of Instagram. This was about 10 years ago, I think, or more than 10 years ago. I think that he had that going. Anyway, Pod, P-O-D, capital F period, Tomcast, Tomcast, where hopefully wherever you get your podcasts. I'd be surprised if they don't let you get it. I don't have a lot of room on this, and this is having a different kind of day. I don't think there's any way in hell I can sculpt one of my hermit dragons in this stuff, especially in the time I have. I do have some polymer clay. What's it called? Sculpey. And you can work with that until you get it hot. And I finally decided to buy some when I saw that you don't have to put it in an oven. You can cure it, and you can partially cure it. You could stiffen it up with a hot air gun, and I actually have 2 of those. Anybody needs a hot air gun, let me know. They've hardly been used. Oh, I folded it. I didn't mean to fold it. I've got some kind of cool figure happening here. I think this should be a kiln god. If you worked in a big ceramics program at like a university or something, you might know what I'm talking about, a kiln god. You work on stuff and you put 3 months worth of hard work with making plates and vases and cups and things, and you put them in the kiln, and sometimes something happens and they go kerflooey. And so some, I think, humorous, insincere superstition was the last thing you put in there is a little kiln god, and it can be as crude as this. I'm gonna hopefully tweak him up a little bit, but or her, or them. This is a them, actually. Trust me, I'm right here on the crotch, and I know. See, I made a joke. I don't know if it. That's another thing, by the way, you guys. I'm gonna go for the joke. Even if I'm alone in here, I'm gonna go for the joke. And I was brought up in a time when just damn near nothing was off limits. I mean, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Monty Python. Of course, they are geniuses, and I'm not. But I always kind of felt like, oh, I can be edgy. I can. Of course, I'm sure being white and male and not very many months of my life were what was my family unsure about where the next meal was coming from. The next bill, oh yeah. But anyway, I'm blathering a bit. I was saying that I had privilege. I had privilege in several different ways. Now, I'm neurospicy, undiagnosed neurospicy, but you know, everybody's probably got something. And I bet there's a lot of people who would rather be neurospicy white. Oh, no, that's not right. And all I meant by white was, in this country, the normal, you know, the color they made Band-Aids, the only color they made Band-Aids for forever. I'm gonna make a little spot where he can be holding like a staff or something. I need something to puncture with. You would think I would have something like that. And I do. Oh, right here. Anyway. Oh, I thought I could get away with edgy, controversial, Bo Burnham early days stuff. And as a result, I'm sure I lost a lot of friends over it. And I'm not as sad for myself that I lost the friends. I'm sad for them that they lost a friend and that I hurt them. So that's why on one of my what do you call profiles, it says something about permanently apologetic, socially inept, you know, that kind of thing. That's true. I'm not just blaming the neurospicy either. Alright, well, I'm gonna lay him down to where he can be kind of either sitting or leaning. Need to prop up his legs because these might crack down. That will work, I should think. So we'll kiln God, and now I've got a very small amount, and I need to alcohol it up because it is getting. I need to remember, note to self, when I watch the video on demand, how long it was, because this is, I would say I've got 10 minutes tops left for this. Oh, but this was a second batch. No, it wasn't. It was the same batch. I just didn't pull it off until the last. So do I marble this? Do I ice it? Do I marry it? Which one of these? I don't have any silly putty. I've got some plasticine. I got some plasticine. I've been wondering what that will do. That'll do. Cliff probably knows what I mean by that. He and I both worked for a company that drove railroad workers to their places, and that was some of their jargon. That'll do means stop whatever you're doing. Stop. Bring your train to a stop. That'll do. Okay. Modeling tag. Well, this says from the makers of Sculpey, non-drying modeling clay. It's so old, I thought perhaps, I always thought that maybe this was from the stuff my stepmother gave me, the art supplies that my stepmother gave me from my dad, our late father. But, hey Google, on what date did the Sculpey brand take place?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Yeah, I didn't word that well. How old is the Sculpey company?
On the website sculpey.com,
Continue. Hey Google, tell me about the website Sculpey.com.
sorry, I didn't understand, but I found something similar. Do you want to know whether Sculpey is safe?
No. Trying to pick out the blue stuff because it's the least attractive of the colors. The yellow probably fluoresces in black light. I can test that here in a moment, but oh, where did that go? Okay. All right, I'm going to be running out of time here. This is a lot easier to work off the proverbial bat. I was mentioning throwing ceramics. That's where the expression "off the bat" comes from. The circular thing that you put on the wheel, and you put the clay on it. So it's between the clay and the wheel, so that the wheel doesn't get permanently disgusting or constantly disgusting and therefore not very useful. See what I'm doing? Once again, part of this is me documenting what I'm doing. One of the reasons I went live today when I wasn't scheduled, wasn't planning to. Yeah, that round thing is called the bat. And it's, I think I looked it up and it has nothing to do with the winged flying creature. I think it was more related to a baseball bat, but I don't know the details of it. But that's where the expression off the bat. Okay, Potted Tompkins, he did that for quite a while. Then I think the next thing he did, well, I think the next podcast that he was on a regular basis, which I think he's maybe still on when they occasionally bring it back, is a great show. You could go back and listen to all of them. It might be behind a paywall. I think it might be, but boy, it's worth it. Get yourself a sample before you sign up for the paywall. The Thrilling Adventure Hour. His regular character, he played the husband of a character played by Paget Brewster. Wow. Pulled her entire name out of my brain, which is driving me insane. Paget Brewster, you might know her from the last season of Community. I think she was on one of those CSI shows for forever, which is great. She's got a nicer house on account of it, so I'm okay with it. I haven't watched it, won't watch it. See what I'm getting? I think I'm going to leave it like this because I'm hopeful I can, once this sets up really serious, I can take out the blue and leave the black. But I also want to try this with the UV clear clay that I believe will set under a UV light to be clear like glass. Now it may be stained glass, stained clear glass, because it's up against these things that are highly pigmented and what do you call, chemically interesting. La la. Okay, now just a straight turd shape is not that desirable. What about a bit of a ring here? Actually, this is flexible enough. I think I'll try to make a infinity symbol. I talked about my philosophy, and I'm basically a secular humanist, but I sort of have a higher power idea. But the thing is, that higher power is ultimate infinity with a capital I. My answer when somebody says have a blessed day is infinity keep you. So the symbol of infinity, which has become an Etsy darling, it's become a crafting cliche to some extent, I'm sure. I guess I'm trying to say cringe, but realizing how cringe it sounds for a person of my age to speak so young. Oh, that's not terribly well shaped yet, but I'm going to see if I can make it better with some tooling. I have not been using my tools much. I've been amassing materials and tools. And the materials I'm working through pretty quickly, but the tools are sitting idle a lot of the time, which is not entirely brilliant, I don't think. I don't think so. Oh, can you see what I'm doing at all on either of the cameras? Probably not. Maybe this one. You see? Also kind of help get the size right. Okay, Paget Brewster, they did a recurring segment on Thrilling Adventure Hour called Beyond Belief. Now there's other things called Beyond Belief before them and after. Thrilling Adventure Hour, Beyond Belief, Sparks Nevada, Marshall on Mars. That's some wonderful stuff. After that, Paul F. Tompkins. What was I going to say? Oh, he came up with Spontaneation, which is one of the best things that's ever happened. Pod F. Tompkins was nowhere near as good. It was an incredibly early draft of Spontaneation. He would improvise with guests, and that's some of the best stuff in the world. I know people shit on the concept of improv nowadays, and I don't love it that they do that. I do recognize that so-called bad improv can be hard to put up with. First of all, if you decide to call it bad improv, you get up there. Seriously, give it a try, because I used to have to answer this question a lot. Isn't improv incredibly hard? And my answer was always yes, because no. Or sometimes it was no, because yes. But then I would go on to explain, everybody knows how hard it is. The audience knows, your fellow performers know, and therefore they cut you a little bit of slack. Put this water clay back. I can remember, there it is. Back in the turd bucket. The albino turd bucket. I'm sure that's gonna age well. Nothing against albinos at all, not making fun. I said turd bucket and then realized that they were white turds. And okay. Run and tell your friends that I said albinos have white turds. Fecal waste. Solid waste. I was trying to think of how to scientifically talk about that. Okay, so I've done the things I was going to do. I've talked about the things I was going to talk about, and I've been on for an hour and 40 this time. I don't know how long I was on before I started dropping frames. No frames dropped in this stream, so that's good. So I have a scheduled stream tomorrow at 7 p.m. Texas Standard Time. Oh, wow. It is quarter to 5 p.m. It's 3:16. I don't think they say that. 16:45 now, Texas time. So in just over a day, I should be back, and you can look at the things. I'm going to let these set up longer than that. Probably it'll be Thursday before. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday now are still the days that I plan to stream. Days like today, I may stream, even though it's not one of those days. I'm shaking the table, which is shaking the camera. Oh! But instead of starting at 5 with the light coming in and making everything kind of difficult and unpleasant, hard to read the wall I project the chat on. Anyway, 7 o'clock's a better time for me, and hopefully it'll be a better time for everybody. But there will be times when I do like this, some unscheduled, unplanned. And I'm gonna crimp this one off. Let me think. I think those are good for my suggestions right now. Pod F Tomcast, Spontanea Nation, and Thrilling Podcast, Thrilling Adventure Hour. Check Thrilling Adventure Hour out. It is so good. It was written by 2 guys for the longest time. Now different people write it when it does happen, and I'm not even caught up on the modern stuff that's not written by Acker and Blacker. What are their first names? They have the same first name. One's Blacker and one's Acker. I've got the name Don in there, and it's not Don. Ben. I think that's right. Ben Acker and Ben Blacker. And you know a lot of their work, whether you realize it or not. Great stuff. Great stuff. Bring your sense of humor and have yourself a blast. And that's my recommendations. I'm going to crimp it. I think it's about quarter till. I think my cotton mouth's about to claim me, and I need to wash these gloves before I take them off. That's a trick to these, especially the reusable. Rolling the sticky clay with these tight, not very comfortable gloves. I've got them inside out because there's more texture on the colorful outside than there is in here. It's a little smoother. Anyway, one way to make these last better is to wash your hands before taking them off. Wash your gloves and then wash your hands again. So I'm gonna call it a stream. Well, except my mouse has decided to say unto me, "Go thou, go to hell, do not pass go." Okay, I don't think I can work a touch screen. Hopefully I can though. If so, bye.